Hey guys, how you doing? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report with your CFL Red Zone report inside the numbers for week number 5 of the Canadian Football League. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your day. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner or hit the subscribe button below this video if you are using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by ATSstats.com. Come and kick the tires. Check it out for only $4.99 for the week, and you can get the entire CFL report on each game matchups and also all the bells and whistles for the Canadian Football League against the point spread right here at ATSstats.com. In fact, we've been online since 1998, and we have our stats that goes way back to 1996, and that's all against the point spread. Only one of a handful of sites that have all the numbers against the point spread, and you can find us each and every day right here at ATSstats.com. All right, folks, how was your CFL week number 4? I thought we had some great football games over this past weekend. Canada Day was a good one between the Edmonton Elks and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. But before we got to that one, the game here in Ottawa was a great game between the BC Lions and the Ottawa Red Blacks. Unfortunately for the Red Blacks, they fell short against Nathan Rourke and those powerful BC Lions offense. 34-31 was the final. Edmonton beating the Hamilton Tiger Cats 29-25. Montreal and Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan got the revenge on the Alouettes. 41-20. They didn't, you know what? That game there, Saskatchewan, I got to give credit to Jason Moss, made great halftime adjustment. The pass wasn't working in the first half. He went to the running game, and as soon as they went to the running game, everything else opened up, and Saskatchewan opened up a 41-20 win over the Alouettes. And last night, we saw what happened between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Toronto Argonauts. You know, Winnipeg is 4-0, but they could easily be a 2-2 team. And if you look at all their games, they're very close games. And I thought they got a little bit lucky last night. But when you got a good defense, you know, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers remind me a bit. I think it was the 2000 Ravens when Trent Dilfer, that great Ray Lewis defense, Ed Reed, and Trent Dilfer at the quarterback, Claros. You know what? He just has to manage that game. And that defense in Winnipeg with Jefferson there, man, they are a special unit on defense. But great week number 4 in the CFL, and folks, got a good show for you here today on Inside the Numbers, the Red Zone, and I'm going to give you the power ratings for week number 5. Also, the SBI, the Sports Betting Index, we're going to take a look inside the point spread numbers and more numbers right here. Favorites, underdogs, home teams, home favorite, home underdogs. We'll take a look at that. We'll also look at which team has the best point spread record. Also, the scoring, we'll see which team is leading on offense and defense. And I'm going to bring out the SOS, Strength of Schedule database. It's one of my favorite tools here at ATS, and I'll show you how it works. And then I'll give you the week number 5 matchups along with the value report and the chance of winning. Who do I like winning this week? And also, if you haven't used the ATS calculator, this is a nice tool to use if you like analytics. All right, let's kick it off with the CFL week number 5 power ratings. And let's go from 9 to 1. What I have ranked number 9 right now is the Edmonton Elks. Edmonton just trying to figure it out. Trey Ford was at quarterback this week, and they still have a lot of work to do. But the one thing with Edmonton, they're getting better every week, and I got them ranked number 9. Toronto, lack of discipline last night. You know, you can't have a professional football teams have a meltdown on the sidelines they did last week. When you have to have Pinball Clemens come to your sidelines to tame everything, you got issues. And Dinwiddie, that was not a good look for you right there as the leader of that team. You need to do a better job controlling that team, right? Lack of team discipline on the sidelines, and hopefully we'll see moving forward if obviously if they get that together, right? Hamilton, that game against Hamilton. The one thing I'm going to ask is the OC of Hamilton. Why are you Tommy Condell? Why are you giving the ball to Dane Evans in the last 3 minutes on a zone read inside your zone to force him a fumble? I thought that was a really bad play call right there. Ottawa can't go vertical. That's the problem with the Ottawa Red Blacks. They cannot throw the ball vertical. Everything, 80% of their throws are either checkdowns or on the outs, outside the sidelines, 15 yards in short passes. But the one thing I will ask this question, and I've had this discussion with a lot of people in football. There's a lot of head coaches in the league who are also taking the role as the offense coordinator, defense coordinator. In my opinion, that's way too much for one person to handle. People say, well, look at Dave Dickinson. Dave Dickinson's a special situation. He was a quarterback in this league, and compared to like Paul LaPolice, who's also calling the plays in Ottawa, his vision of the game is probably a little bit different than Dave Dickinson's. I just question if Paul Apolli should bring in an offense coordinator, let go of some of those roles as the head coach or the offense coordinator. Just concentrate on being a head coach, and I think you might see a little bit difference Ottawa Red Black situation. Saskatchewan, they do. I know Cody Fajardo looked pretty good on offense, but he does struggle throwing the ball downfield. He's a bit like the Ottawa offense right now. Thank God they got a running game that opened it up for them in the second half against Montreal. Calgary, all their wins that they had to come from behind in most of those games. We'll see this week how they do against Edmonton. Improving Edmonton, I got them at number 4. Number 3, even though they're 1-2, I still like Montreal. I think Montreal, Lady Luck has not been on their side. They could be 2-1 easily, but we'll see Montreal going forward. I think what's their record? 2-1 or 2 right now? 1-3, I believe their record is. Let me just go look at their record real quickly. Montreal is where's the Alouettes? There, yeah, 1-3. But I feel they could be a 2-1 team, maybe a 3-1 if they get a little lucky against Calgary. But I think they deserve better fate. They're a good football team, and they lead the league and against the point spread on the record. But I think this is a very good football team. I got them ranked number 3. Winnipeg, again, I think they're the 2000 Baltimore Ravens. Great defense and just manage the offense for Caleros. And the number 1 team, Nathan Rourke and company, the BC Lions, they're the real deal. They're absolutely real deal. I saw them firsthand here in Ottawa, and they can do it all. They can throw verticals. They got a good run game. The defense is solid. BC Lions right now, my number 1 power ranking team in the CFL. All right, let's take a look at the last week. Yeah, we gave you the scores right there. Let's go to the SBI, the Sports Betting Index. And if you're betting the CFL against the point spread, here's what has come in so far in the first 4 weeks of the Canadian Football League. 81.3% of the favorites are winning straight up, but they're only covering the spread 50%. So if you're like me and you're betting a point, I don't lay points in CFL football in any spread sports. Basketball, football, I only bet money line, and I'll bet the underdog. And here's why. Would you rather be an 81.3% favorite winner covering the spread or 50%, right? That's a 31% difference right there. But you got to be patient. Not every day is going to be a Picasso, and you got to pick your spots. For me, personally, I only had one pick in week number 4. It was the BC Lions money line, and I had a little small beer and pizza money last night on Winnipeg, and nothing to brag there. I'll take that and run with the money right there. All right, for the over-unders this year, 56.3% of the games have gone over so far. 43.8 have gone under. And let's take a look at which teams are bringing us the money here when it comes to rolls, favorites, underdogs, home favorites, road underdogs, etc., etc. Right now, so far this year, through 4 weeks of the CFL, the favorites are 13-3 straight up, 8-8 against the point spread, and that's what the bookmaker wants, right? They want even Steven right there. 9-7 to the over. Underdogs 3-13. Only 18% winning those games, so that's going to change because I think the league average in 2019 was like 71%. So we'll see if that comes down. 8-8 against the point spread, and 9-7 again for the over/unders for the underdogs. Home teams 10-6 so far straight up. 9-2 for the home favorites, 1-4 for the home dogs. And when it comes to the point spread, home teams 7-9 against the number, 5-6 for home favorites, 2-3 for home underdogs. Now the road favorites this year, let's take a look at the road favorites. 4-1 straight up. Road underdogs 2-9 straight up. So bookmakers going to see this 18%. But what they really care about is this here. That's a manageable, right? When it's in a neutral setting like this, that's all they care about. They have a range that they're comfortable with when it comes to the overall record. And so far this year, road underdogs 6-5, but overall 8-8. So the bookmakers doing a really good job with the point spread this year. All right, let's take a look at the teams that are pretty good against the point spread. And if you look at right now, as I said, Montreal, my number 3 ranked team, they are 3-1 against the number, 3-1 to the over. Edmonton Elks, they're coming along very nicely. I know that first game was an embarrassment for Chris Jones in BC, getting swiped like 59-15 or something like that. But they've been competitive the last couple of games. 2-2 straight up against the point spread. 1-3 straight up, 2-2 against the number, 3-1 to the over/under. Calgary, they had a bye last week. They are 3-0, but only 1-2 against the number, and 3-0 to the over. And there's Hamilton at 0-4 straight up and against the number. Not a good look here for the Hamilton Tiger Cats against the point spread. In fact, let me just hit the point spread record, and you can see the worst team is the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Even though Calgary is 3-0, and I said all their wins have come from behind, that's why they're not too good on the point spread, but 3-0 to the over. Toronto 1-2. when it comes to the point spread. Ottawa 0-3, but 1-2 against the number. They're on the road this week in Saskatchewan. Winnipeg 4-0 and 2-2 when it comes to the point spread number. All right, let's take a look at who's scoring some points here in the Canadian Football League. And there's BC, ranked number 1, averaging 45.6 points a game. Calgary at number 2 at 31 points a game. Saskatchewan, again, it's a good thing they got that running game going because it wasn't a good first half for the Green Riders against Montreal. Montreal, 25 points a game so far. Winnipeg, 21.7 points a game. It's that defense in Winnipeg that is smothering. Hey, they're a smothering defense right there in Winnipeg. Edmonton, 20.7. And Ottawa, also 20 points against, along with the Tiger Cats and the Argonauts, ranked last in points on offense, 15 points for. Yeah, so this is all the offensive points. So if I said points against, I meant points for. So you can see Toronto is ranked number 9. Hamilton, Ottawa, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Montreal, Saskatchewan, Calgary, and BC. And you can see three of the top 4 are all Western teams. In fact, the Western domination is pretty embarrassing so far this year. All right, Winnipeg, number 1 ranked defense, only giving up 15.7 points a game. BC, 16.3, and we're in for a special treat this week as BC is hosting the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on Saturday night. Saskatchewan, 21.5 points a game. Ottawa, they got to get their act together on offense. Defensively, man, they're doing a really good job on defense, only giving up 24 points a game. Montreal, 26, same thing with Calgary. Argonauts, 28.6, and Hamilton, 29.5. It's the offense in Hamilton that's putting a lot of stress on the Tiger Cats defense, and Edmonton allowing 35 points a game, but most of those points came in week 1 against the BC Lions. All right, so here's that database I was telling you about. This is a really good database. So when I look at the games this week, say you got Calgary is on the road to Edmonton. So you go Calgary on the road against a team below 500 in the last 10 trips. And you can see right here, they are 9-1 straight up, 7-3 against the number, and the average score is 27-18, which is against a C-type team in the Raymond Report, which is a team below 500. And if you just scroll right down there and you just click submit, 9-1 straight up, 5-4-2 against the number, and the average score is 31-19 for the Saskatchewan Roughrider. So we'll see how Ottawa does this weekend, and then Winnipeg on the road against an A-type team. And let's see, A-type teams are teams that have a 60% or higher record. They are 5-4 straight up, 7-2 against the number, and the average score is 24-20 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. But you know what, BC, this year they've been good. They haven't been really great the last couple of years. And let's see if they have some games against A-type teams. Yeah, look at that, 2-8, 2-7-2, and actually that should be 2-7-1, not 2. And then you got 25-19 for the road team. So we'll see what happens this weekend at BC Place in British Columbia. Should be a great game between the Blue Bombers and the Winnipeg BC Lions. All right, let's take a look at the Thursday night game. You got Calgary taking on the Edmonton Elks at Commonwealth Stadium. We do have a 44% chance of winning here for Edmonton, who's a 4.5-point home underdog. The over-under is at 51.5, and we do have Calgary winning 28-24. And looking at the value report, we do have the Edmonton Elks at plus 7.5, and you can see they're getting plus 4, so a little bit undervalued this weekend against Calgary. Ottawa traveling to Saskatchewan at Mosaic Stadium. The Green Riders, a 7.5-point home favorite. We had them winning this game here at 66.6%, compared to only 7.6 for the Ottawa Red Blacks. And we do have a 31-20 final here, according to our computer pick. And looking at the value report, I had the Saskatchewan Roughriders at minus 2.7, and you can see you're getting 7.5. So overvalued this weekend against the Ottawa Red Blacks. And the big game of the week number 5, the BC Lions taking on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The Bombers, a 2.5-point road underdog. I wonder when was the last time they were an underdog. I'd have to go check that out later. 48.5 is the total. We do have a 56.7% chance of winning for BC compared to 42.2 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And we have a final score of 26-22. And looking at the value report, we have BC at minus 6, and they are undervalued here. I think I like BC on the money line this weekend. All right, here's the ATS calculator I was telling you about. So what you do is you go to atscalculator.com, you go to CFL, and you just put in Ottawa, Saskatchewan, and you create the result. And we got Saskatchewan winning 7.27 points to 39.28 on the over-under. So we do like it to go under the total. And what's the total in that game? It's 51.5. So maybe that game, we like it to go under the total for this week. There you have it. That is the CFL Inside the Numbers Red Zone report for CFL Week 5. My name is Ron Raymond. I'm a CFL handicapper since 1996. I got all my stats, and I've been hanging my hat here at ATS since 96, so it's been a while. But if you're interested in my CFL picks this weekend, you can get them right here at atsstats.com.